Okay, now let's look at, I guess, on what I would call the medium length hairs on this lion. So we've got the ear tufts, the longer chin hair. You'll see this is the clumpier chin hair that I was talking about. We've also got this sort of elbow tuft and the tail. And I'll just show you how to do the elbow. Okay, so let me reset this. Okay, so this is the default generated guides that I had, and I have the screen brush and I've got the mirroring on, and I'm just going to really roughly groom this. Something like this. And if you look at the reference, it is quite curly and wavy. And I'm not too worried about this sort of jaggedy curves because you can use any sort of filters on the hair, the same ones that you can use on the guides. So as you can see here, I set the length and I'm also resampling. So let me bring the resample node. You could also resample the hair at any point. When you do, just make sure that you turn off maximum segment length and turn on maximum segments, and you'll see the curves already smoothed out. And if you do want to see the actual points, I think it's this one, or is it this one? There we go. So you can see this was the original points of the guides, and after we sampled it, it's a lot lower and a lot smoother. And again, I could clump this if I wanted to. So got the guides. And I could clump it. I could, add length, add frizz. You can add as many filters as you want. And again, you can, anywhere that says no override, you can paint a mask for a skin attribute to create variation. It's really powerful. Okay. And again, I did the same thing with the tail and the chin. With the tail, tail, here we go. There. So I just press space G to focus around what I'm viewing. And oh, I forgot to show this. So this plant guides is really helpful for adding more guides along the curve, and know that it does interpolate all the other curves, surrounding curves, and try to place a curve that is similar in the groom. But you can turn this off if you want it just standard straight. And I was adjusting the length because I wanted these hairs to be smaller, so and then going back to screen brush. I don't normally do clumping here. I use that for the nodes. Okay. This is what the chin and the ears look like, and with the fur, again, it's really similar to everything else I've been doing. I don't really like to overcomplicate things unless absolutely necessary. Okay, let's look at the chin. So one thing that I did differently here is I added a clump on top of a clump. So usually it's nice to see different levels of clumping in a groom, where when you step back you see an overall shape clump, and then within that clump you see a secondary clump and maybe even a third really skinny clump. This really helps with realism. So you can see if I turn this off, I'm just creating really strong clump here. And I also did the hair gen. I scaled the length quite high. Now, I wasn't too worried about the guides going through the mouth and being crazy because I'm using a mask to control where the fur is generating from. So frizz and bend. And you can see that I didn't spend that much time on the guide itself because I'm able to affect the look of it with all these nodes here. And then you'll see the clumping. Frizz, and then the stray hairs. The tail, very similar. Ear hair, same thing. And the elbow hair. Is quite noisy and fluffy, but you can see there is some curl and clumping in there as well. So you really can create a variety of looks using the same nodes over and over again. I just thought I'd show you the masks for the fur that I was just showing you. And I didn't really spend too much time creating masks for variation within clump size for the chin, ears, and elbow and tail. But I did have a mask for density. So here's the elbow density mask, and chin density, and that's it. Oh, I lied. Here's the tail density. But the ears, I just used default. I didn't paint an area because it's already blending in with all the other fur.